Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Nigel Benn and Magic Event brought me here because that one, that's a classic, obviously, and it's so ironic because the fight what we're going to talk about now is the actual fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. It is amazing how far we have gotten in the situation. It's amazing how I can easily transition from this. This is amazing. I was going to give you a shout out, but we're here now. We are here now. All right. So before I even, by the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Alkebulan Trust, a name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can find the video first. Chris Eubank Jr. documentary, because there was something in his documentary where he mentioned about. Yeah, it's this one. He mentioned something. I think it's to what history repeat, and it actually genuinely did. It genuinely repeated itself. All right, we're not gonna watch the full fight because we ain't gonna try to get.
You're pregnant. False positive.
Everything is riding on this fight. This is the biggest fight of my career. The most amount of money, the most amount of pressure, the most amount of everything. Everything is riding on this. A loss would it would finish me. It would ruin me. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, a defeat would be devastating because, not only is...
By the way, as well, yeah, we know what the results is. Yeah, he won, right? And I want to just clear this up first and foremost before we get into this even further. We're not gonna react to the full thing. I'm trying to pull up to the part where he mentions about the whole situation of why he started boxing and stuff like that. Because there's a reason for that, right? Seeing as we're doing this. So, look, the thing is, yeah, what they've done in this, there was a rehydration clause, which is dangerous, which is why his dad was against it in the first place. And then there is a situation where they made the ring smaller. Like, what do you mean? But he still outboxed Conor Nigel Benn. And when I say outbox, it doesn't mean the thing of, oh, he like being aggressive. Like some people get it misconstrued and think that a person that would win a boxing match is if they're more aggressive and if they land a mark in them and they're caught above the eye or they're bleeding in their cheek or whatever the case may be, right? Some people may think that will justify that person if you know what I mean, either losing or winning, like you know what I mean. But that's not how it works. This is a sport. It's boxing, and in the art of boxing or in the sport of boxing, the key thing is landing punches. That is the key. Landing punches in areas that are a go zone, but not in a no-go zone area, but in a go zone area. So that is like not the back, not the head, yeah, literally body shot, like body. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like Conor Nigel Benn, he did land a few. You know what I mean? I had like from what I saw, like, and I'm literally saying it from what I saw. I ain't talking about what other people saw. Forget that for a moment. Let's focus on what I saw. This is a recap, right? If we're talking about a recap from the first 3 rounds, yeah, there was 12 rounds. It literally went the distance. It went 12 rounds. 3 minutes of 12 rounds, right? All right. So 3 minutes of a round, whatever. But basically, the first 3 rounds, guess who was winning? It was Conor Nigel Benn, all right? He started off more ferocious. You know what I mean? He's more aggressive. You know what I mean? He landed at more punches. Cool. You know what I mean? He had my respect from down. All right, cool. He's doing better than expected. Higher than that still. You know what I mean? Like, he had my respect. But then, after a while, it almost felt as though Chris Eubank knew he would get exhausted. Like, knew Conor Nigel Benn would get exhausted. Right? He knew he would. So what he done was he found a way to outbox, like land more. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're exhausted, yeah, you can throw punches, but you doesn't mean you're gonna land. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know how many? Let's use Floyd Mayweather Jr. Funny. Obviously, his dad was a boxer as well, and his dad was Floyd Mayweather Senior as well. So that is funny to me, Senior and Junior. But anyway, he's trained with. Anyway, let's figure all that. All right, that aside, yeah. When he boxes, yeah, guess what happens? Because of how fast he is, certain his opponents barely land any punches on him, and this is how he wins. Yeah, there was a time when he was a knockout artist, like he was a knockout artist. You know what I mean? Best pound for pound boxer in the world, like pound for pound boxer in the world in his division. Facts, right? Then he decided that, do you know what I mean? Let's switch it up a bit. Do you know what I mean? Switched up, cool. He just showed the skills. Do you know what I mean? And some people may clown him because 50 says he can't read or whatever the case is. But listen, I tell you what though, the brother can box, bro. Like he can box. So at the end of the day, and he still got his mental as well. That's the key thing. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how many boxers who have lost their mind? Like have anyway, I even go in any deep into it. So the point is, the art is to literally land as many punches as possible, which isn't always easy, but at the end of the day, it was done. Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. won, especially, and it's funny, Conor won the first 3 rounds, but that doesn't mean that with him winning the first 3 rounds that he won the whole match. No, he didn't. That's like me even saying, "Oh, well, Chris Eubank Jr. won the last few rounds, so that's why he won." Yes, he won because of that, but at the same time, during the whole of the fight, he literally landed more punches. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? It's that simple. And you can't put anything past it. That's it. He won. Get over it. Yeah, just get over it. Should there be a rematch? I'll talk about that. No, I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just get into this video real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find the actual thing. Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Let me see. Because I remember he was... Oh, let's see.
If you had 2 cars or more on finance between 2015 and 2021, you could be owed 5...
They know what I've done, they know what I can do, and they are following me for me, not because of the name. At the beginning of my career, I'm sure a lot of people followed because of the name. What is this kid about? Is he as good as his old man? Is he real? Is he fake? 37 fights in, all those questions have been answered.
Wow.
When I was following in my father's footsteps, that's when our relationship was at its strongest.
Okay, here we go.
When I decided to step away from those footsteps and make my own, that's when the relationship changed. The fight would mean more if he was in my corner. For sure. Watching me continue on that family name, upholding the legacy, with him being there, yeah, that adds a lot. Pleasing my family, being happy, being content, being proud. Those are the driving factors in the moves that I make now as a 35-year-old man. Now I just want to be, I want to be proud of who I am as a man, you know? It's the stage I'm at in my career.
One thing I do want to be remembered for is, see them Benns, they can have a fight. Irrelevant of what I do in the sport, I want to be that fighter that gives the British public entertainment they deserve. Value for money. Anyone can get it.
I'm more confident in this fight than I had with me and Chris Sr.
We will stand up. We will give a round of applause.
I shouldn't even laugh. Yo. I wish I actually properly reacted to this when before the fight. Like, I obviously saw it before the fight, yeah. But just to hear that, hey, I hear it. Obviously, you got to be confident in your son, in it. You know what I mean? I hear it. 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 That's what you're supposed to do. Have confidence and have faith in your son.
Pause to Ben and the family and say thank you for taking the fight.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss.
I'm not thinking about anybody else.
Yo, they predicted it. Hey, sometimes, yeah, I can't even lie. Sometimes these moments, yeah, you can be a little too arrogant, and it could literally go against you. Do you know what I mean? It can go against you, but it didn't go against him in this case. But there was something else I'm trying to react to. I don't remember about it.
That's how you make mistakes. And you think too far ahead, especially with a task as big as this one. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about a rematch. I'm not thinking about anybody or anything else aside from getting this kid out of boxing permanently. Bad guy is back.
Okay.
Chris Eubank Sr. won that fight with a 9th round KO, but the story was that they both...
Let's watch this. And
There you go.
For what I
All right, so this is what I really wanted for you to see as well, right? Because I don't want to be too long on this because I'm looking at the time as, you know what I mean. Let's go.
said about hating your dad. I really don't.
The first time I knew who he was when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, and I was at a friend's house. I was going through his father's VHS collection, getting ready to watch a film before bed, and then I found Eubank Ben, my old man on the front cover next to Nigel Benn, and I was like, what's this? I know this guy. Let's watch this. And I watched it. That's for the first time I kind of understood what it was my old man did and who Nigel Benn was. What is this? What is going on? What am I watching? This is crazy. He's getting into a ring in front of, I don't know how many people were in that stadium, and fighting and blood and guts and glory. I was shocked.
You've always got to mention the issue with the dads.
You go back to like sort of 1990, the first fight they had at the NEC Centre, Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn, and it was brutal, man. It was a war. Everyone, like, growing up, watching that as a kid, sort of that's what attracted you to the sport of boxing. Chris Eubank Sr. won that fight with a 9th round KO, but the story was that they both ended up in hospital beds next to each other. Both had broken jaws. I mean, it was brutal, man, beyond brutal. That's why they're such iconic figures in the sport of boxing now.
Here you go. This is it. This is the stoppage right here. This is what's gonna happen when me and Beck get in there. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Done. Yeah, we're gonna reenact that moment right there. History will repeat.
And it sure did. Although
right.
He didn't get the knockout, he literally got an unanimous decision. But if I'm honest, even I think the referee gave more leeway. I can't even lie, because in the 11th, especially the 12th round, like the referee, like I don't think you understand the amount of punches that Chris Eubank Jr. gave Conor, even though it may not have been as vicious or whatever the case may be. Like he could have stopped it. He could have been like, "Yo, stop!" Like throwing the towel. Like Nigel Benn could have just got up and just thrown in a white towel and be like, "Nah." You know what I mean? Like it's over. Like it is what it is. Like that's what I believe should have happened. But it's fine. It's fine. It's boxing, isn't it? But like, yeah, like you can't deny what's happened. Like history did repeat itself, but I do feel like we live in an era where obviously, yeah, it's good to emulate your fathers and try to follow their footsteps, which they both did, by the way. But to go on to create a historic like battle like their fathers, where they're literally wearing exactly similar boxing shorts to their fathers, like they literally went out to the same songs as their fathers. Like, do you not understand how? I don't even want to use the word insane, but it's so poetic. That's the best way to put it. And let's bear this in mind as well. When Chris Eubank Jr. When Chris Eubank Sr. fought Nigel Benn the first time, he won that. The first time Chris Eubank Jr. beat Conor Benn, what did I say? The first time Chris Eubank fought Conor Benn, he beat him. Now, will there be a rematch? Should there be a rematch? I don't think so. 2 different weight levels, 2 different ages. I'm not saying that the age should be a big deal or anything, but come on now. Let's be real. Conor Benn is more or less the future of boxing for the next at least 4, 5, 6 years, if that. Chris Eubank is on the verge of Junior is on the verge of retiring, which I believe. Listen, if he goes out and retire like this, do you know what I mean? No one can say anything for him because he's not really going to be fighting for a world title. If he does, who is he fighting? Do you know what I mean? And then if there was to be a rematch, that it's weird because they naturally fight at different weight classes, and it's dangerous to have these rehydration clauses and this. Do you know what I mean? It's dangerous, and to go up another weight class or go down a weight, it's dangerous. Like, it's unhealthy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you heard what Chris Eubank Jr. said about this chapter of his life. So I think he's on the verge of he's probably going to do one more fight and then he's probably going to retire. Or he might just retire. That's my humble opinion. But there's more. Wait, there's more. So continue watching. Make sure you subscribe. There's more. Like, before we get into that, let's just, no. All right, cool. Like, I should read the comments, but hold on, no, let's do that. Let's read the comments. Let's read the comments. Chris threatening Nigel and then sitting back smirking was golden. Eubank is such a character, great build up to the fight. I hope Chris cheered loudly to the ring. He's the best I've ever watched at a press conference. All bands have commanded the ring, roasted Eddie and Ben like no other boxer has ever done. Yeah, no one's ever actually roasted Eddie Earn before. I don't think. Yeah. And do you know what's mad? Yeah, I just not mad. What's incredible is the way he commanded that press conference in the big, like, there's in life, right? Your aura, your whatever you want to call it, your energy, everyone could tell you. Like, from the moment he talked, everyone just more or less tried to keep their mouth quiet, apart from Eddie Hearn and whatever. But even then, the way that they responded, they kind of, I won't say showed respect, but they asked the question like, "Can I talk now?" Do you know what I mean? And even the other guy was trying to talk. You know what I mean? Saying he's even speeding up himself talking. Like, to be able to do that to someone as older than you, not even one person, but 2 people, is incredible. And listen, at first I thought, his dad won't be too pleased with that or whatever. Then I just realized, like, after watching that, I realized, do you know what? After knowing exactly what the clause was in this contract, I realized, he was absolutely right to treat them that way, because how are you putting his life at risk? Do you know what I mean? Like, they were trying everything possible to make him lose, but he still won. They tried to cheat Conor Benn into winning. Put it that way. Why is that even a clause? That should be illegal. Anyway, let's see what the recent comments. Who's here after the results? See, yep, he got it done. Wow. Don't gamble no more. Don't gamble. Don't gamble no more, man. It's a mucus game. You need to cash for your family to come on, man. What? I don't understand that. The fight is when opposites attract. Same with their dad. Brain meets brawn. Yeah. I'm glad I mentioned that because he was like, you see, Chris Eubank Jr. He was not fighting for the fact of obviously because he needed a fight. He didn't need it. Conor Benn was fighting because he felt like he needed a fight and needed vengeance for his father. He was fighting on, when you got that. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where, like, I don't know, let's say you've cut yourself, for example, but you don't realize that you've cut yourself, but there's the adrenaline of what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And then you realize afterwards that I can't myself like raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. He was fighting on adrenaline. Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, he kind of looked, you know what I'm saying? I won't even say too much, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna quickly just put simply the best, like father, like son. Simply the best. Boom, boom, ba-da-da. All right, listen, that tune's on my head right now. Yo, listen, Punch from TDE. He says, what? Guys, I love you all, but after ATL show, I'm retiring from the ticket business today. No, you're not. No, you're not. Anyway, let's keep it moving. All right. No, let's do it this way. All right, I want you to. I don't know if I can do it this way. Because yes, there's more. This is probably going to be the only thing I genuinely react to afterwards. Because there was more that I wanted to react to, but I don't have time for that. I'll be honest. I'm not verified yet because you need to verify me. Twitter, I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying for that. See, look, so he replied back on April 27th after the fight. History. Because that fight was historic. Like, and I genuinely, I'm not even being biased, yeah. Because do you know what's funny? It's just knowing that his manager is Napa and knowing the history of Napa being a grime MC. And the funny thing is, in the undercard, you have Anthony Yard, who's being walked up by 2 grime MCs. DEE was on the song with Napa. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that I want to say, and I was going to mention this other thing towards it, but I don't think I need to really mention that. Really, do I? I don't know. Maybe I should. I might not. But anyway, let's keep it moving. All right. So it was a dream. It was all a dream. No, it was all reality. What are we talking about? It was all reality from start to finish, from the build up, from when the born rivals were emerging to the point of the end. And you know what I like here? I like the fact that he includes his dad in both these pictures. I like that. Look at his dad just grinning. He is grinning. All right, so this is it. He says how it all began and how it ended. All right, so let's play this.
What do you say?
I just want to try.
It's a really okay. I will. I'll let you try.
Okay, all right. He didn't post a full context of it. We'll watch this though, but he didn't post the full context of it. So we'll get into that in a bit. Let's just watch this on his page, and then we just could keep it moving. Let's go.
Tell me the word. If you tell me, I'll help you. Okay?
Dad, I've already said yes. Stop saying you're saying yes or no. I want to do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just leave it there. Come here.
By the way, yeah, I really should get the name of the title. There was a reality show. Yes, there was a reality TV show with Eubank. And I remember this, and it's funny because you know when you watch things when you're a child and you don't really deep like the significance, the real significance of it. It's just sometimes you're just watching what you're watching, and you don't really know how much of a big deal it can be or will be in the future. You're just there, and even as an adult, I'm watching things and I don't know how significant something can be. But what I do know is how significant, that fight was for boxing in general. Because I will not lie to you. Boxing has been terrible for the past few years. You have one or two good fights here and there, but sometimes for most parts it's always one-sided. All right, this was not even one-sided, and this is why some people believe it was a draw, but it wasn't necessarily a draw. If you pay attention, you will realize, all right, cool, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's keep it moving.
Move. Maybe there's another. Maybe there's another. No. Let's just put it this way. There's one to watch.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Could be one to watch. But I so hope it's not in boxing.
It happened in boxing, mate. It happened in boxing. So you can tell from there, his dad didn't really want him in the sport in the first place because he know what he went through. Do you understand? So it's not about whatever. Like, he just knew what he went through. He didn't want his son to go through. Do you understand? That's as simple as it will get. All right. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go to the start of it, because this is where it gets interesting. And this is the thing about boxing as well, yeah. The name Eubank is such a significant name when it comes to the it's such a significant name when it comes to boxing. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's see, where is this post? Yeah, there's certain names. Chris Eubank, like as a child growing up for me, it's always been Chris Eubank, and talking about black British boxers here. Chris Eubank, Frank Bruno. Those are the two that I think, if I remember correctly, they both had reality shows. You know what I mean? But anyway, there's Frank Bruno, Chris Eubank, and Lennox Lewis. Those are the three black British boxers that are like childhood heroes to me. I won't even lie to you. You know what I mean? The fact that Lennox Lewis knocked out Mike Tyson. Come on, man. Come on. What we saying, bruv? Where is this post, bruv? There it is. All right, so the reason why I go to Lennox Lewis post is because of this particular situation. Who would have thought this conversation would have led to a night like last night, which was the 26th of, because as you can see here, he posted on April 27th, but the fight night was April 26th, right? So he says, who would have thought this conversation would lead to a night like this, like last night? Congrats, Chris Eubank Jr. on proving your old man wrong. Yo, what a way to put it. Proving your old man wrong. Anyway.
That's the argument. 20 world champions. I ask you, I often tell Christopher that boxing is a business that you never see middle class or upper class youngsters become champion, because you need hunger. You need to be hungry. And the fact that you've kind of been brought up within these four walls here and you've been protected, I don't think you're going to be hard enough.
I just want to try.
This is one of the main reasons why a lot of people hated on Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, because they felt, because of the way he was raised and the fact that boxing is usually a quote unquote working class sport. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
I just want to see what it's about. If my dad can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah, see, that's cheeky. Are you speaking to your old man like that? How you speaking to your dad like that, bruv? Like how you speaking to your dad like that? Like, go to your room, bruv. Go to your room. Get me? And if you got well, fast forward the year that we're living in, you know what I mean? Take out anything connected to, like, unplug the Wi-Fi. No, I'm joking. But for real, like, why you speak to? Like, I understand it. Like, if his dad can do it, why can't he? And that's really the mentality of most children. It's like, if their parents can do it, they could do it too. That's how they think. They want to be like their parents. They want to make their parents proud. Do you know what I mean? Let's pull it up for a minute.
That boxing is a business that you never see middle class or upper class youngsters become champion, because you need hunger. You need to be hungry. And the fact that you've kind of been brought up within these four walls here and you've been protected, I don't think you're going to be hard enough.
I just want to try it. I just want to see what it's about. If my dad can do it, why can't I do it?
That's the argument. 20 world championship wins, son. You see that?
Actually, that's good, because he won 21.
As so many people come to understand, you take a beating, is this what it's about? Well, not for me. And I hope you're not stubborn and kind of
that's what you are. You're stubborn and bullheaded. And that's why you made it.
Yeah, but I don't want him to.
So you're saying he can. No, you don't want him to be stubborn and bullheaded.
Yeah, but listen, you know,
in life,
for the guys who don't make it,
you might have to be.
For the guys who don't make it in boxing.
Wait. Hold on. Is he bald-headed now? No, he's not bald-headed. Anyway, let's go.
You know, it's tragic. It's a tragic business to be in.
If you're convinced he's not going to make it, just let him go until he wears himself out of it and he's not bothered anymore.
Yeah, and by then,
by the way, you know who the woman speaking? It's his mum. It's Chris Eubank Jr.'s mum, Karen. You know, if you watched the lead up to the fight, there was where Chris Eubank Sr. was asked about something. Yeah, he was basically saying, you know what he said? Did Karen teach you that? Because I didn't teach you that. You know what I mean? In regards to throwing the egg or smashing the egg in Conor Benn's face for obvious reasons. But like, yeah, so look, you have to completely bear in mind that's his mom. Do you know what I mean? So it's just ironic that his mom is literally being the one to. When you think about it, I just realized something. Most times, you know, when it comes to like parenting, like most times in terms of fights, yeah, it's usually the moms that want to shed their kids, or most likely their sons, away from fights. Do you know what I mean? From boxing. You know what I mean? It's just ironic that she's like, no, let him do it. You know what I mean? Let him do it. And if he tires himself out, then, you know what I mean? At least he tried. Like, I respect her for saying that. You know what I mean? I still respect Chris Eubank Sr., by the way. Let's go. Because all he's doing is trying to protect his son. That's all he's doing.
Would have gone. You know what they say? Let me tell you what. Trust me. Don't, Christopher, just leave it alone. And you know what?
Remember what they said, right? Okay, am I bad looking? Okay. Why are you putting that into the kid's head?
Because I don't want him to fight. I don't want him to fight. Everyone gets hurt. Everyone gets disfigured. Everybody gets used.
What you're saying is irrelevant at this time.
It's irrelevant? Yeah. Why?
Because it may not happen. It's like worrying about what might not happen.
Let me just bring this point to you. I would never want, when I have kids, for my son or daughter to be in a car crash. So, what do? I say, I'm not buying you a car and you can't drive. Is that the right thing to do? No. Okay. Go. That's good. What do you say?
You see, I told you this is just that. The way Chris Eubank Jr. Just reposted that clip. You know what I mean? He didn't post the full thing. You know what I mean? Oh, I say the full thing. He didn't post it from the part where Lennox Lewis was the one that more or less encouraged his dad to let him try the boxing. And I'm glad I let you see that from that documentary we sort of watched. Like, he mentioned about what he saw when he was 10 years old at a friend's house. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at it, it's like he saw what his dad was doing. It's like, yo, you know what I mean? And let's be real, when you're a kid as well, yeah, your mind is like, there's many things you may see as inspirational and things you want to do, like, oh, that's good, I want to try that. You know what I mean? But the fact that he literally saw himself in his dad, that sounds mad, but like he literally saw like himself. Like, I don't think you understand. He saw himself, like, because he's like, that's his dad. If his dad literally can do it, so can he. And if you think about any other sports, yeah, there's a lot of athletes that follow their father's footsteps. A lot of them, a lot, yeah, and even so much to the point with Deion Sanders and his sons, who've now got drafted into the NFL. Same weekend, by the way. Same weekend this fight happened. So that's interesting. And the fact that he literally known, Deion Sanders is now known as Coach Prime Minute. So yeah, man. Let's go.
I just want to try it.
It's a really okay. I will I'll let you try. All you've got to do is tell me the word. If you tell me, I'll help you. Okay?
Dad, I've already said yes. Stop saying you're saying yes or no. I want to do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just leave it there.
Come on, Dad.
Come here.
Sorry.
Okay, come on. Who knows? Maybe there's another. Maybe there's another. No. Let's just put it this way. Now there's one to watch. He'll be one to watch. But I so hope it's not in boxing.
It's just about that. I so hope it's not in boxing. And that, my friend,
I often tell Christopher that
lesson in life.
Boxing is
sometimes your parents can be wrong. Because sometimes, just like the Fresh Prince and G.J. Jazzy Jeff once said, parents don't understand. All jokes aside, should I say, you have to understand that he did find a way to be supportive of his son, and he's always literally been there. Like, he's always been there. And some may say, yeah, he likes to hog the limelight, this, that, and the third. Which now, looking back at this, I completely disagree. I just feel like he has that aura to the point where you gravitate towards it, if that makes any sense. Like, no day. So naturally, and obviously he's a legend as well. So naturally, they're gonna gravitate toward whatever he's saying or whatever he's doing. And some do say, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like at the end of the fight, when he was being interviewed by someone, and then he mentioned Rastafari. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just like, some may be thinking, oh, he's a madman for doing that. No, you'll forget, if you don't understand, he's actually Jamaican. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's Jamaican, so he's naturally gonna say that if he believes in that way of life. Then, not only that, I just like the fact that it's Jamaica 2, Barbados 0, because the Benn family is from Barbados. But no, I don't think there should be a rematch. They shouldn't, mainly because 2 different weight levels, the age gap is different. And look, at the end of the day, I just feel like I don't want it to be a thing where Conor Benn has to feel like his whole mission in his boxing career is to seek vengeance for his dad. Because if he continues like that, he's not gonna, like, if there was to be another rematch, especially on Chris Eubank Jr.'s terms, he ain't gonna win that. Do you know what I mean? He's not, like, Nigel Benn knows that he's someone win that. And I think Nigel Benn even mentioned about it as well. Like, you were trying to seek vengeance or something like that. I can't remember the 4 words, but listen, I've run over time. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly react to something real quick. You know what I mean? You saw the headlines of this live feed. If you are watching live, if you're not,